So these are, yeah, you want to, let's close the door here, keep the heat out. So I've been working a lot with stencils over the last few years, trying to develop a multimedia approach where I use them for monoprints, for mobiles, for sculptures, and I animate them as videos as well. So it's taking the same iconic imagery and translating it into different dimensions of media. And for my show that I'm going to be having in May in Ljubljana in Slovenia, these two mobiles are the two focal points. This one is based on prehistoric imagery, and this one is based on modern imagery. And it's in a gallery that is usually shows light art. So the windows are blocked, so it's in a dark white space. The floors, ceilings, walls are white. So the whole concept is like a shadow theater. So basically, I'll have fans blowing on these things and turning them around. And I'll have LED lights on the floor casting really highly focused beams on these pieces, casting shadows on the walls and ceilings and floors. And then I'll be projecting my video animations on top of each piece. And this piece has a sort of a journey to a cave, an underworld sort of scene with this kind of shape-shifting shaman in the center. And then this one about the modern times has an animation based on this kind of modern imagery. And they'll be in different sides of the space, so you'll have a projection here and then another projection here. And I'm going to time them in such a way that when they walk in the space, first they'll be seeing the modern one and the shadow play and the video. And then when that finishes after 3 minutes, then this other projector will kick up in the other end of the space. So they'll have about 10 minutes to go from one to the other. And so it's basically sort of like a trance-inducing shadow show. And of course the animations also.
And David, we were talking about you're moving to Slovenia, and this is your show in Slovenia, and that's coming up next year? Or?
In May.
In this May? Oh, May 2026?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And then I have these paintings on mylar, which will be kind of hanging around in the vicinity, and they have imagery that is related to the imagery in the mobiles. Sort of a panorama of history from the prehistoric to the present, and man's sort of a collaboration / domination of the natural world, sort of the Anthropocene narrative.
Are you hand cutting these out? Or
Yeah, these are all hand cut. No, I've never gotten to the point of laser cutting. I haven't.
Yeah.
So.
So this is part of your 25 pounds of...
Yeah, these are my all packed up stuff. I've just...
Can I touch them?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Are you going to put encaustic on them?
Yeah, some of them have. Well, these are all older watercolors. I haven't done encaustic for a few years. I've been mostly focusing on developing larger, like these paintings here. And
they remind me a lot of Jane Hammond's cold wax paintings.
There's sort of on the theme of extinction of species. So I wanted to, get into working at a sort of a larger scale. And then I have a lot of paintings on canvas as well, like these things here. And so just kind of a multimedia approach to taking the same iconic images and using them in different ways.
Are we going to talk about the pieces that you got out of auction?
Yeah, yeah. The work that you photographed there is from the show that was at Guardino in 2017 called Terra Incognita. And basically, it was inspired by the old Renaissance and medieval maps of uncharted lands where the cartographer would use their imagination and draw all sorts of fabulous animals and people because they were unexplored territories. So the series is basically drawing from scientific diagrams. There are some images based on tarot imagery, a wide botanical imagery, sort of a wide range of cultural imagery, and then I recombine those into a new context and create my own landscapes based on those images. And so it's a combination of basically a mixed media approach where I glue found paper onto printing paper and then stain it with different ink and then with like a gouache and then draw on top of that with pen and ink. So it's all hand rendered work.
Yeah, it's so perfect that it looks like it's a real print.
Yeah, it was just a test for me to see if I could actually do it.
And you did.
But now that I've proven to myself that I can do it, I'm ready to move on to something a little looser.
Right, that was very, very tedious.
Yeah, yeah. And then the sculptural series that you saw were all based on sort of robots. I have some robo-humans, robo-punks, the short found object, the found object pieces, which combine different objects like paintbrushes and kitchen utensils and forks and knives and various things like that. And then the robo-bugs, which are more like robots created out of pieces of wire and kitchen utensils and various found objects.
I'd like to also talk about what you did in Slovenia. You got some notoriety way back in the 70s, early 70s?
Yeah. I was a member of an artist collective called Grupo OHO, and we were sort of a large collective of multimedia artists, and we were the first in Eastern Europe to explore happenings, land art, body art, conceptual art, and so we actually gained some recognition. We were part of the information show that was in Museum of Modern Art in 1970. And after that, the group just sort of fell apart. But I worked with them for 4 years, and we just did a documentary, just a feature-length documentary was just completed on the group of Group OHO, including all of our work, and so hopefully it'll be available on Netflix. It was done by one of the best Slovenian directors, who's also doing a biography of Marina Abramović.
Yeah, yeah.
And she actually is in the video, and she comments about one of the installation pieces I did back in the late 60s that she says was a big influence on her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I did a piece where I laid on the floor with my hands out, and called Cosmology. And of course, she later did her piece where she laid on the floor in a burning star. So OHO was a big influence on her.
Wow, yeah. And then what's the name of that documentary?
It's just called OHO.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. I'll try to connect that like a link. That's really great. When do you think that'll come out?
Well, the public premiere, I think, is either next month or November. Yeah, soon.
Right on. That's so exciting.
Yeah. It's a great kind of look at the past, sort of a nostalgic piece, and it kind of combines sort of an art historical perspective with kind of a 60s nostalgia thing, because we were all a bunch of crazy hippies doing crazy things. So, yeah.
Different style of protest in Europe than we had over here.
Yeah, well, it was much, we were much less political. It really wasn't a political movement. It was sort of more like a politics of being creative in an oppressive society, and just, you know, exploring our individual creativity, finding freedom of expression as a form of protest.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of public works, you know, in the public square that a lot of people saw, but the police just thought we were crazy. They didn't see us as, like, you know, a threat. So
A threat to communism?
yeah, we weren't really a direct threat because we
Right.
never mentioned communism. We just were a bunch of crazy hippies exploring all these weird ideas, and life as art, art as life.
Is Slovenia still considered communist?
No, they actually joined the EU back in the 90s, and they separated from former Yugoslavia, and that actually led to the breakup of Yugoslavia into the republics that they have now. But they are an EU country, and they've always been probably the most, you know, quote unquote, Europeanized of the Balkan countries. You can't really even call them Balkan. They're more like Austro-Hungarian, Italian.
It's a lot of movement of the Crusades and all the trade movements were all the way through that European.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of mixing.
Oh, it's always been, from the very beginning, it's always been a crossroads for lots of different cultures.
A lot of strife too, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they were defending themselves from the Turks, you know, for 500 years. And then, you know, of course, during World War II, then World War I and World War II was the Nazis. And, you know, it's always been a struggle, but they're actually doing really well now.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
They're having an art boom.
And they have, like, the city of Ljubljana, the capital city, is probably about half the size of Portland, but they have like 4 major contemporary art museums, beautiful big spaces. So they're really promoting their culture. The city puts aside 5% of their yearly budget
Wow, they value
for
the
culture.
arts.
They really
Shocker.
value the arts, and it's great. It's really a really hot art scene. In Europe, they have more public funding for the arts, so there's more space for people to do performance art and, you know, installations and conceptual art and stuff like that. You know.
Well, I'm excited for you though.
Yeah, I'm excited.